Hello friends, how are y'all doing? How are you doing, my friends? Hello. Hello, more sense. Hey, Ibrahim. Hello, Ivers. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Ayan. Hello, Climber. Okay, let me mute myself. Hello, Tina in chat. Hey, Spider. All right. So, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you see that form over there, if you haven't filled it out, please fill this out because I want to get everybody's thoughts as we're talking about Devin. So, I will show you this form. Okay, so I am trying to get an understanding of what you guys think as well. So, what I would like to do is ask people how much software engineering or some sort of coding, like corporate coding, work related coding, doesn't need to be exactly software engineering. But you get my point. Like, work has to do with coding experience. Or like, yeah, let's call it that. Coding job experience. Experience have you had? Let me just like put that in for everything. So I want to see, there's like 15 responses now. I want to get most people to respond to this question because I have a hypothesis, but we must test out my hypothesis. I can't just say random things, right? I think that's something that I try my best to do on all my videos and live streams, is the fact that we're actually going to base it off data, seeing as I was a data scientist. Okay, cool. All right. Well, as we put this here, let's wait until the responses get up a little bit. Like maybe like if we can get to like 30, that would be great, and then we can see what it is. Also, by the end of this live stream, what I would love to do with all of you is I want to fill out this request access to Devin. So this is like the thing that you can do in order to ask to use Devin. So just like FYI, for everybody like talking about Devin right now, very few people have actually used Devin in terms of like actually used it instead of just seeing like the demos and stuff that are around. It's like similar to Gemini, like they gave like the demos and stuff, but I don't believe I have seen, except on Twitter, like a couple of people, most people commenting about Devin haven't actually used Devin, me included. I've not used Devin either, but here's like this request access thing. It includes stuff like what's the first tax you should give Devin. So I want us to like figure out this together, and then we'll submit the Google form, and who knows, hopefully they will give me access. Although it doesn't have YouTube, it's like Twitter, which I don't really use, LinkedIn, which I have, but I don't really use that much. So sadly, they don't let me link my YouTubes, but hopefully they will allow me to do this thing. Anyways, hi Tina, hello friends, good morning Cypher, hello everybody. Thank you all for joining. Okay, does that sound like a good plan for everybody? Okay, while we're doing this, also totally fine if you want to respond to the form a little bit later, because if you like don't know anything about, whoop, don't look at that. if you have no idea what I'm talking about right now, that's fine. Let's actually go over Devin, okay? For anybody who doesn't know what Devin is, so Devin is the first AI software engineer as coined by Cognition Lab. So this is a company that is super new. I think it's like they were in stealth and they really only recently came out of stealth. And then they're saying that they were able to make a fully autonomous AI software engineer. The whole idea is that it's not just going to be like co-pilot, like doing something with it. It's actually able to be a teammate and allows you to build alongside it with engineering teams. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you, like, Scott Wood, the CEO. He can obviously explain his company better than I can. So let's just, for those of you who already watched this, just bear with it for a little bit.
Hey, I'm Scott from Cognition AI, and today I'm really excited to introduce you to Devin, the first AI software engineer. Let me show you an example of Devin in action.
Oh shit.
I'm going to ask Devin to benchmark the performance of Llama on a couple different API providers.
Am I listening on 2x speed? Oh no, I'm not. Okay. All right, let me play this.
The first AI software engineer. Let me show you an example of Devin in action. I'm going to ask Devin to benchmark the performance of Llama on a couple different API providers. From now on, Devin is in the driver's seat. First, Devin makes a step-by-step plan of how to tackle the problem. After that, it builds the whole project using all the same tools that a human software engineer would use. Devin has its own command line, its own code editor, and even its own browser. In this case, Devin decides to use the browser to pull up API documentation so that it can read up and learn how to plug into each of these APIs. Here, Devin runs into an unexpected error. Devin actually decides to add a debugging print statement, reruns the code with the debugging print statement, and then uses the error in the logs to figure out how to fix the bug. Finally, Devin decides to build and deploy a website with full styling as the visualization. You can see the website here. All of this is possible today because of the advancements that we've made in both reasoning and long-term planning. It's a really hard problem, and we've only just started, but we're super excited about the progress that we've made so far. In the meantime, if you'd like to try out Devin on your own real-world tasks, send us a request below, and we'd be happy to forward it to Devin. All right, so that was their introduction of Devin. So kind of key things to note is that they were able to prompt Devin. They were able to prompt Devin saying like, hey, Devin, can you, what's it here? I'll like you to benchmark Llama 2 on 3 different providers, replicate together Perplexity, and then figure out their performance. API formats and write a script that sends the same prompts and params to all of them. So it's like they want to compare the different Llama 2 and other APIs as well. So that was the whole deal. And then the whole idea is that Devin is able to have access to all the things that humans can have access to. So including an IDE, you can have access to the shell as well, editor, all these different things. So it's given all of these tasks, and then from here we can see that it was able to debug the code as well. So it's like it does this thing, it looks up API documentation, something happened, it was able to debug it, and then everything was good. And then they ended up with like where is it over here? They ended up with some sort of graph as well. So it's able to show you like, oh, like it was able to put this on localhost, and then it was able to come up with this image about Llama 2 and then in comparison to different things. So this is the example that they gave, and then if you here's the link to it, like feel free to go look at it yourself, but I'm just gonna go over it pretty briefly. Okay, 25 responses. Okay, let's get this to 30 and then we can look at the answers. What was I saying? Right. Okay. So the whole idea is that it has the capabilities that is a lot more than just like Copilot. We're asking it to do very specialized tasks. It's able to do long-term reasoning and planning and execute complex tasks that require a lot of different decision making. And then it's saying that it can recall relevant contexts. So it probably has like a really, really long, it's able to take in a lot of context. So a lot of token availability, learn over time, and fix mistakes. Okay. Yes. So, and they're also saying they're giving Devin the ability to actively collaborate with the user. So you're also able to do feedback, and it's kind of like a Copilot thing as well. Yeah, and then I'm not going to go over this too much, but basically it says that Devin is able to read blog posts and then is able to do all these things and produce images. So it can learn about unfamiliar technologies. It can build and deploy apps end to end. So an interactive game that simulates the game of life. And it can deploy the app to Netlify, and then it can find and fix its bugs. It can fine-tune its own AI models, which is interesting. So if it comes up with like an issue, it's able to fine-tune its own large language model to be able to do that, and then potentially solve issues that it can't solve by itself. I think that's the implication of that. I think what was also pretty interesting is that Devin was allegedly given jobs on Upwork, and then it was able to do these jobs as well. So writing and debugging code to run a computer vision model, doing samples, and then having a report at the end, right? So these are all like kind of the examples that they give you. And then obviously if you look at the video, it's very impressive. They're able to do all these things. So and then this is the SWE benchmark. I also want to touch on this. So what this is, if you go over the paper of it, the whole idea is that we want to work on real world GitHub issues, like not just kind of isolated tasks. So these people came up with this benchmark where they have 2,294 software engineering problems from real GitHub issues and corresponding pull requests across 12 popular Python repositories. So it's essentially, you have something on GitHub and then people have like feature requests and things like that, pull requests, and then it was these different models were asked to complete the pull request and then have it merged into the repository itself. And they tested out like a lot of different things. And from here, you can see that Claude was at 4.8% of its ability to do this. And Devin far surpassed all of these different things. And then it was at 13.86%, right? Far exceeding the previous state of the art of 1.96%. Okay, yes. Given the exact files, and it's also say it's autonomous in the sense that you don't need to assist Devin, while for other models, you need to tell them where the files are located. Okay, so that's apparently now we've kind of very briefly gone through all of these different things, at least what it is that they're claiming. And on Twitter as well, they were talking about all of these things. But the blog post, you can check it out, is probably the best place to look at in terms of the high level stuff. They did say that they'll actually have like a more detailed technical report soon, so I'm very interested in actually seeing this technical report. I think a lot of companies, like they like say a bunch of things but they don't generally follow up on it, so I'm really glad that this one does. So we can do another live stream when it does come out and we can see the details of what's happening. People on like Twitter and different places are saying that it's probably just a wrapper around GPT-4, and then they're just made like specific things on top of it in order to make it very good at solving software engineering problems specifically. And with that, they were funded by $21 million on a Series A. Yeah, so kind of really quick overview. Does anybody have any questions about what it is specifically? It doesn't have an option for 3 to 5 years. Okay, sorry, my bad. In terms of the questions, 5 to 10. Okay, fine. 1 to 5. Okay, sorry, my bad. Apparently, I can't do math. How embarrassing. Let's say 2 to 5. That's embarrassing. Let me just change it to 2 to 5. And then say 0 to 2. My bad. How embarrassing of me. Oh, actually no, it's 0 to 1. Sorry, it should be 0 to 2 since we're doing inclusive. Okay, there. My bad. Yeah. Okay, two more responses, guys, and then we'll look at the results for this. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions in terms of the really, really fast overview, which I just gave about Devin over there? Okay. Could you suggest some? I'm interested in AI networking related projects. All right. I actually do have a video on that, so do check it out. Q&A session this morning. Oh, thank you for joining. Yeah, we had a Q&A session for the first batch of our, not first batch, the first batch. Oh my god, I can't think. The first batch, I guess it was first batch of Lonely Octopus accepted people to a Q&A. So thank you so much for joining. It's good if all the boring simple coding can be taken over by AI. Oh shit, I did not realize that you see infinites. Okay, sorry about that. So just logically speaking, if it can do these stuff on code, it can do non-code assistant jobs to access the files type, etc. that can go beyond code. what they're claiming is that they're able to translate from that prompt, right? Like all the things that the prompt said was just, oh, like, can you compare Llama 2 with these other different APIs and then create a graph about it? And then it was able to do that. So it would be like essentially somebody who doesn't know how to code and they want something, they can just prompt it and then Devin would be able to do it, allegedly, for Tina's. Devin is basically GPT agents. I would say Devin is like an overpowered GPT agent. Can I do architecture and use case analysis? I mean, I'm interested to see that. I don't know. I'm interested to see the full technical report because they didn't say anything specific about that. I think so. There have been people. Okay, 33. All right. So I want to say, like, again, full technical report, and also because it's not, people aren't really allowed to play around with it. Like everybody on Twitter who did play around with it, like, wow, it's so cool, it's really nice, and things like that. But it's kind of like Gemini, you know, when they were talking about how cool it was, and then it actually got released, like Gemini 1 and then 1.5, and it was just like not at the level of what we thought it would be. So a lot of these demos are so cherry picked to things that obviously Devin can do, and it doesn't show any of Devin's failures. So I haven't seen it do anything architecture related from what I can tell based upon these examples here, and then also on the GitHub performance, right? This is kind of like factually what I'm going to say right now before I go into people's like opinion pieces. 13.86, okay? 13.86. Imagine if you were a software engineer and you got 13.86 questions correct. This is it's definitely a really huge leap forward, and it's probably going to go up a lot, but just in terms of everybody currently freaking out, I just want to point this out right now, what it is. And if you actually look at the sweep bench, it's pull requests. So it's essentially like really well scoped out projects that Devin is supposed to go and do, right? So it's not like come up with a full architecture, come up with a full project about this. And for like a lot of software engineering based tasks, it's really just scoped down to the very clear task that you want it to do. So with that being said, before I go on, let's look at the responses because we got 34. So the questions was what you thought about Devin. Oops. Can't see it. So I have 34 people right now. So what you thought about Devin, right? So my question was like, how many years of experience or some sort of coding job that you have, and then your worriness level. I probably should have just made it into a multiple choice grid. That's awkward. Let's pretend I did not do that. But oh shit, this is like not a great idea. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. Link to sheets. Go look at the sheets instead. That's embarrassing. Why did I not do a multiple choice grid? Is it able to show me? I don't know if it's in terms of responses. Okay, whatever. Let's just go over this. This is like really not a great idea. Why did I think this was a great idea? Oh, okay. All right, I think this is easier. All right. Okay, 0 to 1 sweet experience, very worried. So we get 5 responses for very worried. 0 to 1 years sweet experience, not worried. We get 4 responses. 5 to 10 years coding experience, very worried. So it's 3. And then 0 to 2 years not worried is 2 responses. So these two go together. 0 to 2 years coding experience, not worried is 2 responses. 0 to 2 very little worried is 2 responses, and little worried, 0 to 1 little worried is 2 responses as well. Okay, so over there, little worried, 2, 0 to 1. I'm sorry, this is like definitely not the best way of doing this. Please excuse me. 2 responses, 2 responses, 2 responses, 1 response. Wait, Ibrahim, are you around? Could you do me a huge favor right now? Because going over this is like not the smartest approach.
do you mind tallying up these based upon the experiences as well as the like worried level, and combining the SWE experiences with the SWE coding experiences as well, because I like fucked up and I did that. Oh yeah, if you're around, are you around, Ibrahim? I'm just like, this is definitely not the best approach of doing this. Well distributed. How embarrassing. Or someone. Let me see if he's around. Okay, you are around. Ibrahim, if you're around. Or anybody else. Can anybody volunteer to go through and then just help me out instead of me sitting here and doing this? Adding it together. Yeah, a bar chart would have been way better. I know I've totally fucked up. So I don't want to waste time like trying to redo this and then trying to combine them together, because it also doesn't show. I can give you the like responses for here in terms of responses, and I can, let me see if Ibrahim is around. Are you around, Ibrahim? Did he say anything? Because I know his email. That's why. Can ChatGPT knock this out? This is a great question. See, I don't know how to do this because the table that was given here is absolute garbage, because how was I supposed to know how many people voted for what based upon this pie chart? I don't know. Send a spreadsheet. Okay, thank you so much. All right, let me just do that real quick. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm gonna add you to and as an editor, but please help out. Okay, cool. All right, sent it to you. Okay, you should, it's your Hello Tina H email, so please check. All right, well, while Ibrahim is suspensefully compiling these together, I will talk a little bit more in terms of what I think, okay? Or at least I want to point out some things, right? As I was talking about earlier, I just want to make a note that, again, it's 13.86%, okay? And then most of these are pull requests. And then also the Upwork job, if you do look at it, it's like a very specific Upwork side hustle. So actually, I'm going to play this one because I think it's interesting.
Hey, I'm Walden, one of the developers here at Cognition AI. We were playing around with whether or not Devin could start a side hustle on Upwork. So here's actual real job from Upwork, where the client wants to set up this computer vision model, which actually looks quite interesting. Seems very difficult to set up. I'm not sure how I would start doing this, but you give the task to Devin and ask Devin to figure it out, and things just kick off. Devin immediately goes ahead, and you can see it sort of starts setting up the repo. It actually runs into some issues here with the versioning. So if you watch how Devin deals with it, Devin's actually updating the code to make these things work. He continues with this, loading and importing packages. You can see that actually downloads images from the internet to run through the model. But you can see here that there are actually some issues that come across. However, Devin knows how to handle these things. Devin kind of pushes through, and if you look closely, Devin's actually doing print line debugging here, where Devin is adding these statements to track where the data flows. And Devin continues to do this until Devin understands how everything's working, and actually then updates the code with the fixes after removing print line statements. Devin continues this pattern of fixing code and running it again until it runs the image model across all of these rows across the world. And we can ask for a report from Devin. At which point, Devin sends over some sample images of roads with damage marked out and a nice TXT file explaining Devin's work and the different kinds of outputs of the model. Good job, Devin.
I think that was pretty impressive. Honestly, I think that was pretty impressive. And the other ones, again, are impressive as well. Here's what I think, okay?
I think Devin would be replacing very specifically scoped out projects. Like, even if you look at the prompts, it's pretty much saying, oh, like, specifically solve this problem that's very, very well scoped out. But you don't really get Devin being like, let me find a solution to a business problem that uses abstract reasoning. Right. Like, oftentimes as a software engineer, for anybody who has been a software engineer or some sort of coding job, you don't just go like, let me come up with this like well-scoped solution and then just come up with it and then give it to my stakeholder and then everything is great. That would be the ideal situation, but at least for me, anybody I've worked with or seen, this has never happened before. Usually when you're working as part of a team as a software engineer, what it's going to look like is that some business person or product person is going to be like whatever, like this thing and whatever, back and forth, figure out what the specs are, figure out what the timelines are and things like that. And as you progress through the project, I have not seen a single project that has been able to be completed in time exactly the way that they thought it would be. There's issues that are going to come up. There's going to be tasks that are going to be at risk. There's going to be tasks that can't be completed due to several different reasons, usually due to people reasons, because there's suddenly the business use case changes. That's like a huge one. The business use case just changes, or you realize that your product person, people who are non-technical, they don't actually know what they want. And like miscommunication on that front, and permissions, privacy. There's a lot of things that go into finishing an actual project. A lot of different layers of people. So with that being said, I think that part of it, which is really like a significant amount of what coding and software engineer at a corporate level is like, that portion of things there's no way it can be automated away by Devin. Like, is Devin gonna sit there and argue with the product manager for like 2 hours, pushing back and forth to figure out if they should do this thing or not? Like, or like whether it should do this thing or not? That's a great question. Like, sometimes business people or product people, they come and go like, do this thing, and then you're like, I could do this thing, but I probably shouldn't do this thing because it would risk your privacy problems. It could potentially cause all of these issues to occur. Have you thought about whether your stakeholders actually want this or not? Do you even know what the solution is to this? That would be a lot harder. For a software engineer, like an AI software engineer, to figure out. So I do think in terms of that benchmark that we saw at around 13%, I think that's going to increase dramatically. But keep in mind, these are all tasks that are very specific and scoped out and does not involve Devin having to talk to anybody. Or it may have like revisions and things like that, but there's ultimately, when it's being merged, it's something that has already been thought out. There is a fundamental solution to that problem because it's like there's a very specific problem or a very specific feature that's being developed. So that's my 2 cents in terms of what I think. I think in terms of a lot of smaller tasks and things like that, it will become a lot more automated. And I do think there's going to be a much more supervised role for software engineers. Before I talk about kind of what I think the solution to this is, like if you are an aspiring coding person, software engineer, data scientist, like something like that, I will give my thoughts in terms of what you should do in this case. But that's like, I think realistically speaking, I don't really believe in some people just like freaking the fuck out right now, especially, and just like, I don't know if I should do computer science or software engineer anymore. I should just give up. I think it's way too early for you to do that. Like, come on, Devin hasn't even come out yet properly. Like, right? Like, let's be a little bit more skeptical. Also, if you notice, for the Devin forms that are here, why do you think they say, what is the first task you would give Devin? You'll get off the wait list sooner if you write a message that could be sent directly to Devin. Be highly specific and detailed. Why do you think that is? Because they want to know how you're going to use Devin, right? Like, what it is that you want Devin to do. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure if you actually do it, they're not going to be like, here's Devin, do whatever you want with it. I'm pretty sure they're going to like limit it in some fashion where whatever it is that you're asking is probably going to be whatever it is that, like, one of the only things that you can ask Devin, because they don't want people just coming in and asking all the questions right now, because they probably can't handle all of these problems, right? And then that data, that report that came out, like we still don't know at this point. Like from that report, there's no technical report that has come out yet. I'm assuming a lot of these things that are here, they are very, very cherry picked as well. What about when Devin couldn't do something? I'm sure Devin couldn't do many things, right? If it's like 13.86%, what about all the things that Devin failed at doing? How come like we don't like see this over here? Just like, you know, I actually did like a video that I think got like shadow banned by Google, to be honest, about testing out using Gemini and testing out the demos that they gave end of last year. And they were just like so cherry picked in terms of the prompting method and things like that as well. So I wouldn't be surprised that if you actually just gave you Devin, you try to ask it things to do, and then it would just like not be able to do it unless you're prompting it in a very exact fashion. Very, very exact fashion, and also with a very, very exact prompt. So before I go into other people's opinion pieces, I'm just going to see what people think. Say, oh, I am unemployed. How can Devin take my job? Tina, please double check. Tina, please double check. Tina, please double check. Editing access. Settings. Send. Yeah, it says that you have editor access, Ibrahim. Copy responder link. Okay, I guess I can just do anyone with the link. Does that work? Let me just try it out. Yeah, it does say that you have access, Ibrahim, so I'm not sure. Here. Here's like the direct link as well. You should be able. Oh, hey Panda, it's been a while. It's never as good as the demo. Really, it isn't as good. Can you check again? Ibrahim. What is it that? Yeah, it's your Hello Tina H email, not your Lonely Octopus email. Message me on Discord. Wait, can you try that link, Ibrahim? Okay, well, I can also just like screenshot send it to Discord. Maybe Devin can solve this kind of stupid problems that come up. Okay, you got it. Okay, cool. Thank you, Ibrahim. Appreciate it. Maybe Devin can solve this issue. Okay. There was a little situation I had to deal with. Good to see you, Tina, in chat. Good to see you. Okay. So let's see like some comments from people. I guess you could try to ask Devin. When you fall, just get up again. Bit off topic, does anyone use Upwork? I'm scared to trust it. I've used Upwork before and also Fiverr. Personally, I think it's a really hit or miss. You need to be like kind of like Devin, like you need to be very specific about what you want, and then you also be very good at testing out people. Like always screen people first. Good way to get stuff done fast. Will programming die out? Wait, I want to make one more point, okay? This is like a very specific thing I want to make. Let me see. This is the Bloomberg article introducing Devin. Join us. Our team is small and talent dense. Our founding team has 10 gold medals and include leaders and builders. Building Devin is our first step. Apply to join us here, and let's see what kind of jobs they have. Machine learning researcher and software engineer. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. If Devin could really do everything, why do we need these roles? Just kind of putting that out there. Okay, let's look at rest of the stream. Seems like AI will be automating database management, file modification, and data load. I think AI would be able to do things that are very specific, right? Including all like database management and stuff, but you definitely need someone supervising database management because people are going to be like, oh, like I need to change the database. Oh, like this thing doesn't work. Like what is wrong with this? Different business use cases that pop up or just like edge cases that pop up. Those are all things that I really doubt Devin would be able to deal with. I know I would ever directly push to prod whatever Devin wrote. You still need an engineer to double check. These AI tools will just improve our productivity. I 100% agree with that. Like, just like, oh, let me just let Devin push to, like, even human people, right? Like, even junior developers, when they write code, there's like literally a code review process. Like, they don't just let people push to prod. There's a peer review process, even for very, very senior engineers as well. Like, you need people to look at your code because there's just like edge cases or context that you may not be aware of. I'm sure like anybody that has worked in a team before, a corporate job or just like job involved in which you're building something real, you can attest to that. AI sucks at math right now, hallucinates all the time. I would say like I think it got to like grade school math. I would say logically speaking, I think it's good at specific tasks, but if you ask it more like abstract mathematical things and like physics, it seems like it does not have a good grasp of that. I really like this comment from Sager. I'm unemployed. How can Devin take my job? The job is always in constant evolution. Why panicking? That's what I'm saying. Like, I really feel like a lot of those YouTube people on Twitter, at least especially YouTube people, to be honest, are just like freaking the fuck out. Like, oh my God, it's going to take my job. I mean, it's great clickbait. And I get that. Like, I understand what they're doing. But at the same time, like when I see people genuinely, especially younger people, genuinely trying to get in the field and being like, I'm just going to quit my job and just gonna quit learning this and change my major, I'm just like, bro, dude, like what are you, no, like don't do that. That's like such an impulsive, rash decision just because a potentially AI software engineer that can do 13% of very simple problems, which also does not have full public access yet, is coming out. You're just gonna quit your entire job. It's like, for example, when oh my God, when electric vehicles, like, you know, when they came out, and this was like years ago, they're like, oh my God, drivers are gonna go obsolete, there's no way that we're gonna have drivers anymore. It's been like a decade, like decades of this already, and even now, like, do you see that happening? It's very much like an increasing your driving, I guess, like driving productivity of not crashing and things like that, and then being able to like autopilot some things. But I don't think we're getting any closer to driverless cars. Like, I don't think it's going to be happening very soon. Like, I also in China, I did see like kind of driverless little like, what is that called? Like little food delivery services. Like I do see those, but even those, there's like somebody monitoring in the back end, just like making sure it doesn't do something stupid, like stop in the middle of the road, which I've actually seen one of these little guys do before, like stop in the middle of the fucking road because it was like an edge case that happened. It's just like, not only I don't think the technology is there, but even if it were, and you could, like, technically you could have autonomous vehicles, right? But society and people are not going to just be like, oh yeah, like let me just potentially risk my life or like my job or like issues and just let AI take over it. It's just not going to happen. Like, people are not going to be able to deal with that. Government, businesses, they're not going to deal with that. It's just not going to happen. Good point. Probably also harvesting data to see how they can expand Devin's capabilities by seeing what people think about asking it to perform. Yes, that's a great, like, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Like, they're probably trying to see what they're going to do, and then they're going to optimize it specifically for the tasks that they want Devin to do, and then accept those people after they do the thing that they said that they would do. Like, I can totally see that happening. Probably restrict your prompting so that you can not prompt it that many times, where like only prompt within some parameter of prompting. Like, that is what I would expect to happen. So kind of like a in the future kind of thing. Yeah. Let's see. Will Devin take my job? Probably not, unless you are someone who is, I feel so bad saying this, unless you're someone who's not very competent at what they do. I truthfully feel like that. Like, if you're like really bad at what you do, I do think it will take your job. I honestly feel like that's usually the case for most of these technologies. If you're just like not good at what you do, machines are going to take your job, but like other people are also going to take your job. So this is also like what I wanted to emphasize. Like I think for people who are looking into still coding, like please still do so. Like seriously, like this is just like I hope like when I put it into that perspective, it makes sense to you why it's honestly pretty ridiculous to just go like I'm just gonna like not learn this anymore and run away and become a farmer. Nothing wrong with being a farmer, right? But like this is not a good reason to do that. I do suggest though that if you're gonna do this, like you should learn the fundamentals of engineering principles, learn the soft skills as well. Those are things that is going to be very, very hard to automate, and really what makes up the majority of what it's like working an actual job as a software engineer, data scientist, data analyst, ML ops, whatever, data engineer. It really is like a large part of that, like scoping out abstract projects and things like that, especially as you get more senior in your career. That's pretty much like the only thing you do at some point. And like people generally last like a year or two in a position in which they're just coding things, and then just over time they really start expanding past that as well. But if you know like the principles of engineering, if you know the fundamentals of things, it's really, really easy for you to adapt to these new technologies. Because what you realize is that all of these technologies are coming out is really based upon the same fundamentals, and you're able to learn things because they're still based upon the same parameters. Like I'll give you an example, okay? Like in terms of coding, in the very beginning, so like I'm not gonna go back to like basic coding, and I'm sure some of you guys have done that, but that's a little bit beyond my time. But even when I was at like when I first started at Penn, the first thing that they asked us to do is to code using assembly language. So for those of you who don't know what assembly is, like coding is in the very fundamental level. It's like 0101, right? Binary code. So assembly is one-to-one with binary code, essentially. So when you're coding using assembly, it's literally the biggest headache ever because you have to tell it to do very specific things. Like for example, if you're telling it to go through a loop, you have to be like, do this, go through loop, do this again. And then you have to be like, jump back to the start and then do this, do that, do this again. So it's just like very tedious. You can't just write, like for loop or like while loop and that's it. And then after that, we had to learn how to do C and then C++. And then from there, you go more abstracted a way higher level to Java, then to Python and JavaScript, right? And you'll notice that the fundamentals of coding, like understanding how memory works, like playing with pointers and shit like that. In C, it was like literally not a fun activity, but because of that, I was able to understand how memory works, even for higher level languages like Python that doesn't actually require you to manage your own memory and your pointers and things like that. So this is also why it's so easy for me to learn new things right now, because I understand that fundamentally speaking, different programming languages are coming up, different frameworks are coming up, different APIs that people are building. It's all based upon the same concepts. And similar with like statistics and math and things like that, if you understand how these things work, what you'll very clearly realize is that like what's machine learning? It's basically statistics, but applied using computer science, right? Applied using coding. What's deep learning? It's just if you understand how the neurons work and then the layers of it, like it really is like it's like math, right? It's math but implemented using coding. So that's what I'm saying, like whatever does happen in the future, if you have these fundamentals, you're able to keep up with what's happening. How like these people, they're like literally still hiring for software engineers and machine learning engineers, which means like clearly these jobs, at least in the near future, is not going to be going away, right? Like it's not going to be going away, with the caveat of you being shit at your job, then maybe it would go away. But if you're like not shit at your job, just being like very blunt right now, I really don't see how that could possibly go away. Oh, thank you, Ibrahim. You have built for our survey. Yeah, sorry about that. It was just like the worst activity ever of mine, not knowing how to like do Google Forms properly. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, so in terms of percentages, okay, Ibrahim, in terms of percentage wise, I would say, yeah. Oh, let me just quickly do these percentages. 10, okay, 14%, 5. Sorry, give me 1 second. Entertain yourselves for a little bit. That's like 35%.
Let me think. So this is going to be 0 to 2 row count. Coding experience 0 to 2, 0 to 1 year coding experience, 5 to 10 extremely very worried, 10 plus years not worried. Okay, all right, I'm gonna share this graph. It's not okay. Thank you again, Ibrahim, for doing this. This is just like not the smartest way for me to do this at all. So 0 to 1 year very worried. So we have a count of 5 over here. Can you guys see? So I'm gonna double check. Okay, 0 to 1 years is coding experience, very worried. We have 5 over here, and then 0 to 1 not worried at all. We have 4, and then 0 to 1 little worried. We have 2. Okay, so I would say it skews towards being very worried. Oh yeah, sorry. And then here as well. So these should have been combined together. So this is 10 people who are not have that much experience and very worried. Okay, so that's 10 people who are very, very worried. And then for people who are looking at 1 to 2 years of experience, 1 to 2 years not worried, you have 2. 1 to 2 years experience, very worried, you also have 2. And then 1 to 2 years experience, little worried, you have 1. So I would say that's pretty little worried here as well. So I would say that's pretty well distributed. And then let's see. So I would say, okay, so for the 0 to 1, it skews towards being very worried to little worried, and then it's pretty spread out for the 1 to 2 year people, or like 1 to 5, 1 to 2 to 5 years, little worried people. It's pretty, it looks like it's pretty, what's that word? Not standardized. Well distributed, yes, well distributed. And then let's look at the 5 to 10 year people. So 5 to 10 year, very worried, you have 3 people. 5 to 10 year, not worried, you have 2 people. And 5 to 10 years, little worried, you have 1 person. So also pretty well distributed, I would say. And then 10 plus years, not worried, we have 2. I guess we don't have that many 10 plus year people, which makes sense. Not that many 10 plus year people, but I guess not worried. The 2 people that at least answered are not worried. Okay, so what this tells me, so my hypothesis was that there should have been like a relatively inverse correlation between worriedness and number of years of experience. Meaning, I think the less experienced that you are, the more worried that you are, and the more experienced that you are, the less worried you would be. So that would be like my hypothesis in this, because I feel like if you actually worked in a job that is, you know, part of a team and like actually building something that's, you know, like not you just doing personal projects, you would come to the realization how much of what your job is arguing with the product manager, arguing with other engineers, arguing with all the business people, arguing about the fact that you can't implement things within 2 days, and why it is that you shouldn't be implementing certain things, and why it's kind of stupid to want to do that in the first place. So much of this like back and forth, and also like high level structuring, especially if you're managing a team, if you're a software engineer manager, it's like who's supposed to be doing what, and then like, you know, what's like who, like how is it going to be split up, how is one thing supposed to split into something else, doing code reviews, like all this kind of thing, right? Like there's so much, it's so messy. Never seen a single software engineer relatively big project actually be delivered on time with exactly what they said that they will do. At least I haven't. People who have less experience are very worried to little worried. And it's pretty well distributed if you have like 1 to 5 to 10 year experience. It looks like it's pretty well distributed, but at least our
In terms of 5 to 10, it's a little bit more on the not worried side. And then the 10 plus years of the 2 people who did answer, not the best, not the biggest sample, but they were not worried at all. So I think we can kind of identify this trend. Although I don't quote me, like we shouldn't publish this study for sure, but that's kind of the trend that I do see. Yeah, what do you guys think? Oh shit, I wasn't even showing things. That's so awkward. Oh, that's so awkward. Okay, did I show any of that? Okay, I hope I did. Also, thank you so much, Ibrahim, for doing this. Really appreciate it. I was like, oh god, oh god. Out of how many people? This was out of 40 people, but it looks like there's 50 responses now. If only I didn't fuck up my ability to actually like math and know how to get questions. So that's really embarrassing. Let me see, out of the 50 people, like around 50 people right now, do we have more people with 10 plus years of experience? I am interested to see that, because that's the sample that we have the least of right now. 5 to 10, 5 to 10. There's more 5 to 10 years right now, and it's pretty well distributed, but I don't see any 10 plus years people here. So if you're a 10 plus year person, please respond, and maybe we'll get a better understanding. Yeah, but that, oh shit, don't look at my Discord. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now. Yes. Okay, let's look at the comments. What y'all think? Okay. Yeah, so just to summarize, there is a inverse correlation between number of years of experience and the worriedness level. The more experienced you are, the less worried that you are. At least it seems like that. Let's see what people are saying here. How much people get accepted to Lonely Octopus? And when is the next cohort? So we do it in rounds. The first round of people that we did get accepted, so we generally only take around like 30 to 40 people. So the first round of people that we did get accepted was around 30 people or so. And then we will kind of continue on going through. So thank you all so much for being patient with us as well. We're like slowly rolling out acceptances, but yeah, we generally take around 30 to 40 people because we think that's kind of like the magic number in which we can support everybody, and everybody still has like their communities and octopods in order to learn things. Wolfa, yes, if Devin could watch my ID and give me advice how to improve, that would be wonderful. Just let Devin do it. If it can like do the not great stuff, I would actually be really happy if Devin could do it. Like for example, that stupid graph that I just did, not like the stupid pie chart, right? If Devin could like fix that and me like not have to go like, Ibrahim, help me, that would be wonderful. Because it's a very specific task. So I'm like, thanks so much, Ibrahim, for actually being here. Oh God. Okay, Spider, 13% success rate could be 90% by the end of the year. I'm not saying all software jobs will go away, but it will be seen as a cost-cutting measure by management. I will agree. I actually think the 13% success rate would increase significantly. Say like up to 90% in terms of like these pull requests and very specifically scoped out projects. I can absolutely see that happening. I think it may be a cost-cutting measure for people who are looking for people who are just there to do like very specific tasks, right? Like you don't need to do that. But if you're genuinely a company that wants to train software engineers or have like a big in-house software engineering team or like freelancers that are long term, you would still very much be hiring them because you want to be training them for things that are outside of just like more than just your entry level software engineer, right? Like you need to have people in that layer to manage all of these like AI engines that are going to be coming out. So I don't think it's like, oh, like let's like never hire junior engineers anymore. Although I would agree, like maybe it's like your ability to learn, like you may have more to prove in terms of being better at the human aspects of your job than just simply knowing how to like code, to just be like a code monkey, right? AI bros are going to be like the citizens in Wall-E. I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean by that? Gone? I'd really hate to debug something Devin has created, but wonderful if it can fix big legacy systems. I would be very interested if it can fix big legacy systems. Like when I was working at Goldman Sachs, for example, they have like a huge legacy system that was actually built within their proprietary code itself. And then people are kind of just like adding on things to it, like Python scripts and stuff. If you're able just to give it as like, here's my legacy system, like make it into Python and open source, that would be wonderful. I would like doubt that greatly, because there's also, again, like a lot of messiness in use cases. Like business people are like, oh no, like I like my graph and like shit like that. That's gonna be a problem. So, but that would be great if it could do that. I just don't understand. Every content creator says it will replace us in a specific task, and this says don't worry. I think that means it will at least reduce jobs. I don't doubt that it would reduce jobs. Like in terms of entry level stuff, I would say like maybe right now, I can only say, because I went through that thing like my past, like I think it's like the 2 videos ago, where like which jobs will survive, and I was looking at based upon WF reports and IMF report, in which it shows that the fastest growing jobs, at least within the next 3 years, I believe it was 3 years, next 3 years, there's a huge influx of AI engineers and software engineers and these kind of roles. Because who's going to be building these things, right? Who's going to be shaping what the future looks like? It's going to be these people. So I'm not going to go like, oh yeah, like it's definitely going to survive in 10 years. Like I don't even know like what's happening in 10 years. I doubt like anybody should be guessing what's happening in 10 years, but at least within the next like 3 to 5 years, there's absolutely going to be an uptick of these kind of roles, because somebody has to be working on these things. Somebody has to be integrating AI into existing businesses. Somebody has to be thinking about the policy making, and figuring out what is good and what is not good. So that person could very much be you. AI can do things that have been done before, so not much good, in my opinion. If Devin is threatening our jobs, what can OpenAI's AGL? I mean, is it AGI do to us? I'm not going to go on an argument about OpenAI having an AGI. What should I study? What makes you happy and contributes usefulness towards society is what you should study. This is to speed up coding, help coders with projects. I agree. Devin be a great programming resource for developers. I also agree. And I think it would also be really great for certain people who may not be technical and need to solve like specific things. I think it would be super, super useful. Like say I'm like a product manager and I don't know how to code. I'm like, oh yeah, like I need to, for example, like make this graph about this thing. And then you can ask Devin, like, can you make this prototype? So maybe you can use it for prototyping and then give it to an actual software engineer when you want to actually build this thing out properly, and, you know, like being able to scale it and things like that. Is it called Devin because it be developed? Panda, I missed you. I miss you. We won't have driverless cars until we have solved the trolley problem. When's that gonna happen though? Even though Devin may have limited functionality now, where would it be in 3 to 4 years? So maybe prudent to reconsider IT current education investment or find a non-general niche. I really don't think that's the case. Imagine if like 10 years ago you're like, oh my god, electric vehicles, I should like not do anything related to not electric vehicles if I'm in that industry. Like I'm like a truck driver, I better give up on truck driving because the electric vehicle is gonna come get me. And then now it'd be like, shit. Where like you're a mechanic for like a non-electric vehicle or something like that. Sorry, I don't know that much about vehicles, evidently. But like how like that would just be really dumb to do that, because you're like, what the fuck? I don't think you should basing off your career on these like generic, very hyped up potential ideas. And we have enough evidence to suggest that these roles are still going to exist at least like in the next few years. Like that's like saying, let me prepare for 10 years into the future. 10 years ago, nobody would have thought that life would be like this now. So you're preparing for a future that most likely will not even be what you think it's going to be. That is my 2 cents. Okay. Hello, should I still plan on majoring in comp sci class of 28? I don't know if you should major in comp sci for other reasons, but I think you should not major in comp sci just because of Devin. That should not be your reasoning for like, I better not, like, you know, not do computer science because of Devin. Like maybe you don't want to major in comp sci because you're like, I hate coding, like, you know, then you should not major in it, but not because of this. Okay. Imagine Devin being able to make more Devins. I think so. It can fine tune models for things that it doesn't know. So that is true. It can do that. Okay, I want to see the technical reports for this. Like, I don't know what that means exactly because they just say that. I have to jump off. I love the newsletter and the content. Please keep on creating them. Thank you for joining. I've been really behind on newsletter, right? Oh my god, no, you're right. You're right. Because I've been focusing so much on Lonely Octopus recently as well. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do the newsletter. Okay, Tina, do the newsletter. All right. Okay, well, I'm gonna run because we're at the end of time. Does anybody have any, let me see if does anybody have any specific, does Devin hallucinate? I really doubt that Devin does not hallucinate. I think it definitely hallucinates since it's allegedly also a wrapper over GPT-4, which definitely hallucinates. Oh, Northern Chimp, hi, was just having a peek. I wish you all the best. Hey, Poet. Oh, hey, Poet. It's been so long. Thank you so much for joining. I realized I never got my application answers emailed back to me. Does this mean my application did not go through? Did it say to you that thank you for applying? Because if it did, thank you for applying, we've received your application, then we did receive your application. Devin will be able to do non-coding tasks too. I think potentially Devin could do those tasks and then you wouldn't know that it's code-based because it's able to produce something out of it. But I also think Devin is supposed to be very specialized at software engineering, but maybe I'm pretty sure someone's going to come up with the next like AI something because like they're like, wow, funded for $21 million. Let's come up with the first AI marketer. Oh wait, no, sorry, I totally forgot before I leave. Shit. I'm like so disorganized today. Can we do this together? I'm gonna do this. What would you like to use for Devin? Okay, let's fill out this form together. What would we like to use Devin for? And then in the meantime, I'm gonna put in my LinkedIn profile for anybody who has to drop. Sorry, I didn't do this earlier, but yeah, in the meantime, I'm gonna go put in my LinkedIn profile because like I don't know what it is. What do you think we should be doing? Why does it only have Twitter though? Like I don't have a Twitter presence. You're gonna be like, who the fuck is this person? I don't even know if I have a Twitter. Jesus Christ. Why does it not allow? Oh, I have 0 posts. That's nice. I have 0 posts and 1.4k followers. Thank you, people who followed me. I should probably post. Twitter. Whoops. Can I just write this as the handle? Okay, company. I guess we should just write. What should I write? Can I just like do my own YouTube? Can I just put that as my company? I don't know if that would work. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna do that. Okay, I'm just gonna put this content creator. Hopefully. Okay. What would you like to use Devin for, and what's the first task you would give Devin? Somebody. Okay. What do we see in terms of answers? I don't remember what the page said. I applied back in February. Okay, in that case, this is for Lonely Octopus, can you email this email just to confirm with the email that you submitted with? Yeah. Could you just do contact@lonelyoctopus.com and we can get back to you? A 2-hour lunch. No, I gotta run soon, but I want to get this done. The saver is become a politician. Oh God. Okay. I could have put, I know, but people are gonna, but I feel like they would probably approve me more if they see that they're like, oh, like this person has a YouTube channel as opposed to like Lonely Octopus, because like it's associated with my branding, but I don't think they would care because I don't think they would care to like figure out stuff. I do think like I'm much more known for content creation, and then Lonely Octopus is kind of like specific to the things that I talk about, and a program that's based upon a lot of things that I talk about and my beliefs. So I feel like probably putting YouTube is better. All right. Okay, can someone give me an answer in terms of what would you like to use Devin for, and what's the first task you would give Devin? Please. I'm looking at comments right now. Build a Devin, right out. Contra. I need a job, Devin, to fix my life for the better. I don't know I can do that. Build a Devin. There's no way they would approve building a Devin. That's like just not gonna happening. No. Build testing suites. I actually think that is doable. Build a Devin. I'm too much of a beginner to even have an answer to this. I mean, it's fine. Like, it's fine. Just what would you like to? The whole point is like apparently Devin is the AI software engineer because so you don't have to know anything allegedly. Build a crypto. No. Okay, I can't. guys, think of something. Please think of something. Have you seen a Figure 1 robot showcase? I have, but I'm not going to talk about it in this live stream because then it's going to go for too long. I have though. I would use Devin to create MVPs based on Django. Okay, can you give like a specific MVP? Like we can just write build an MVP or like something like that, but can anyone like give me like a specific example? Build an OS from scratch? I feel like that's like too much for Devin. They're gonna be like, no, this is too hard. Like something, I would say something like relatively easy because I don't think they would approve people who actually have hard requests. Build an LLM. I also don't think it's that compute power, right? It's not. I don't think they're gonna do that either. Make a card of games. Make a game of cards with a UI. Okay, I feel like this they would do because this is like introductory computer science project. Okay, I think that's doable. Build TikTok for China. There is TikTok for China. It's called Douyin. Build a Claude 2 level LLM. No, I really don't think that they would build an LLM. Too much compute. Didn't you do biotech analyze DNA stuff? Like what kind of DNA stuff? I did cancer research. But then I would have to provide the data for it, right? Do you have the data for it? If you do, we can put that. Make me first person shooting game, Devin, thanks. And after that, build another Devin. Okay. Friend development, build a Lonely Octopus game. Turn images into heat maps. Height maps? Heat maps or height maps? What is height map? Okay, what it looks like right now, the most feasible runs right now is Yaya's make a game of cards. First person shooting game. I can see that. I think you need to be a little bit more specific. Trading I feel like is a little bit difficult unless you provide very specific examples like technical analysis based upon these indicators. Front-end development will be part of the MVP, I think, just including front-end development. I'm not sure what a height map is to make a better world. Lonely Octopus game. Give me good credit. Take a code base and write the entire test suite and measure the test coverage. That could work. Could you link a code base? Okay. Let's get this done within the next 5 minutes. I'm really hungry. I want to go get food. Make a cross-platform app for modeling molecular dynamics for simulating cells. I actually think that could... Okay, wait. Cross-platform app. Maybe if you just wrote like web app,
for modeling molecular dynamics, for simulating. I can see that working. I would say I feel like that is the most specific right now. Okay, this is good. Login and registration pages and make user management system in Tailwind, React, and Python Django. User management system for what? I really think you need to like specify what, like for example, their example of comparing LLMs, right? Specifically which LLM compared to what APIs. So like it's like you have to be like really, really specific, like what kind of user management system. MVP for a platform where photographers from around the world share their images and link it to specific coordinates. Okay, I like that one. I would say like those two, molecular dynamics and platform where photographers from around the world share their images and links to a specific coordinate. Create a 1 billion. Okay. We're forgetting that's why I'm like, I gotta go get food. Edge AI, like energy cons. Okay, I'm gonna do like a quick poll right now, okay? And then whichever wins, let's just put that there so I can go eat. Okay. Sorry, Q&A. Okay, so I'm gonna... Oh, wait, how do I start a poll? Ah, yeah, start a poll. Okay, so what should we ask Devin to do? Okay, I'm just gonna like copy paste some of these that I think make sense. Let's see. A booking system for a hotel. That's interesting. Let's put that one as one of the choices. Okay. Build a web-based restaurant menu app for phones with an AR preview. Okay. That seems like it's pretty specific as well. So I can put that. And an application that will help you decide fast food. If your input code creates all tests. I mean, Copilot kind of already does that, right? Like it's able to test things, like write our unit tests. Maybe try and get it to complete free code searches to see, receive calls, text people, take messages. Okay, I'm with this one, photography stuff. Okay, and then I'm gonna add one more. Cross dynamic. I'm gonna change this one to just like make a MVP of web app. This is like way too long. Modeling molecular dynamics. Cell molecular dynamics. Okay, whatever. It's close enough. What's wrong with this? Oh my god, it's like way too long. Okay, Jesus. Okay. Booking system hotel. Photographers linked to map. Restaurant booking. Model. Okay. Restaurant. Who did the restaurant booking? Where did that go? Booking system for a hotel. Okay. Booking system. Where's the restaurant one? Somebody did like a restaurant one. I can't find it. Okay. I can't. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just gonna put like restaurant booking system. So sorry if I'm like making this not look great. But yeah, just put up a poll. Can you all like vote on the poll? Whichever wins I will put. What should I eat? Like, what should I eat today? What time is it? Oh shit. I'll like film this other thing. I'm like, what should I eat? I mean, I kind of want sushi, but I also don't want a DoorDash sushi. Okay, it looks like model cell molecular dynamic. Okay, I'm gonna give it like another 2 minutes. 2 minutes, guys. And like, by the time I figure out what I'm gonna eat, let's do this. What I want to eat. Okay, do I want Korean food, or do I want? I don't really want poke. I don't really want Italian food either. West Side Grill. Extreme breakfast. It's like 1:30. Do not want to eat breakfast right now. Okay. There's like sushi and I kind of want Korean food, but I think I'm just gonna, let's see. Should I get barbecue? Or should I get Okay, there's poke, there's barbecue, and then there's also Korean. Okay, I kind of want Korean street food. That sounds good. I might just do that. Do they have soups though? I don't just like, is there soups? I really like soups. I would like soups, please. Why is there burritos in a Korean restaurant? What in the world? I'm trying to find a Korean restaurant. Okay. All right. I'm gonna get Korean food. Spicy. I'm down for Korean food. Pho. I'm kind of down for pho as well. Okay. I think I'm gonna go get pho. It's like right across the street. Okay, I'm gonna go get pho. Great. Thank you. All right. End poll. It looks like model cell molecular dynamics. All right. Let's do this. Model cell molecular dynamics. Model cell molecular. Where is that? Where did it go, guys? I can't find the actual. I literally can't. Can someone tell me where? Can someone copy molecular dynamics? Okay. I found it. All right, I'm gonna do this now. If I don't do it now, I'm just gonna like eat and not do it. For a bio, like, okay, let me just copy paste it here. Make a cross-platform app. Let's just say like make an MVP web app for modeling molecular. How do you spell modeling? Is it with 2 L's? Web app for modeling molecular dynamics for simulating. Let's try to be like more specific. Molecular dynamics for simulating brain cells. It doesn't matter what kind of cells it is, or just I don't know. Let's just say like using Django backend and React front. Make a 3D model. Make 3D models. Can also use Shiny. Actually, you know what? Or can just use, okay, you know, let's just use Shiny. Yeah. Using Shiny to create and deploy it. show 3D model with parameters that can be moved around. With parameters that can be adjusted. Okay. Can someone tell me what, if anybody knows, like what kind of parameters should I, like literally no idea what this even means. Is it specific enough just to say simulating cells, or what kind of parameters that can be adjusted? Like I'm not really sure what kind of parameters there are. Well, can someone tell me that for a 3D model of cell molecular dynamics? Like I literally have no idea what that means. All right, going once, twice. What is minimal viable product? Model cell molecular dynamics can easily be done with Mathematica using Wolfram language. It does have the Mathematica plugin. Okay. Let's just get it to use Shiny, mostly because I know how Shiny works. Okay. Modeling for simulate. Okay. All right. Have it create of the cellular Golgi apparatus. What? Okay, I don't know. Let's just do this. I'm like really hungry. Devin is cooking us all. Okay, I think this is fine, right? Does that make sense? He's like, can you just like tell me if that makes sense in like molecular dynamic for stimulating cell activities? Okay, cool. I'm just gonna, it sounds like we're fine. All right. Well, hopefully they accept us. I'll let y'all know when they do, if they do submit. Okay, cool. Your response has been recorded. Excellent. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining. I hope this was entertaining and you feel like you have gotten something out of this. Hopefully, fair discussion. And I'll see you guys in the next video.